Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week it's another sound design session, and once again I've been going through my samples, not quite finding the sound that I want, so I decided let's create it from scratch. And the sound I want is a Waterharp horror-like sound, and if you think you've not heard the Waterharp sound before, well I absolutely guarantee you have, it's in every single horror movie ever made. It's to horror what a squelch is to psytrance. So let's have a listen to what we're currently working with in terms of the context of the track. Let's start from around here perhaps. So I'm not quite sure exactly where it's going to go, somewhere around there, and as you can hear it very much has a spooky horror vibe to it, hence why I want the Waterharp. So let's get started. Let's open up Serum. Now to be honest, it's not a particularly difficult sound, so you should be able to do this in quite a few other synths. First thing to do, load up 2 sine waves, and on the second one add some voices and just a bit of detune there. Let's turn down the center like so. Let's put some notes in just so we can hear something. Now the first thing you should be able to hear, I'm going to play this back again. Well, for one, it's obviously too low in pitch, so let's turn it up an octave or two. And now you can hear an unintentional phone ringing sound. And the reason for that is because the unison on the second oscillator, and that's causing beating against the first oscillator once it moves in and out of phase with it. So if I turn this down to 1, you don't get that anymore. But because we have 3, we have multiple voices and they're, like I said, beating against each other and going in and out of phase. Just increase octave A to 1 more. Now let's go into our effects. I have EQ here set by default. Let's leave it as is, but it's currently bypassed, so that's fine for now. Let's add a chorus. Let's drag that up to the top. We'll turn the mix all the way up. We want the rate to be quite slow because we don't want a very obvious chorus effect. I'll demonstrate that. We turn it up. Feedback up. Very high, around 90%. You can hear that very pronounced, so let's turn it right down. Let's go BPM. $32. Delay up as well. And then we'll switch the high pass filter on, but turn the depth or turn the cutoff down. And as you can hear, we're kind of almost getting there. It's starting to resemble the finished sound. Let's add a reverb now, which is one of the main effects. Let's put this on nitrous mode, which is one of the new algorithms. And then we'll put this on marble. Once again, mix up. Just going to reduce this loop length. And the reason for choosing marble is because it's a bright reverb and we want a bright effect essentially. Let's now add a compressor and we'll put that before the reverb and we'll put it to multiband. We'll leave it on the default settings for now. It's only because it's about to get quite unruly, so let's put it in there just to protect the output. And then we're going to add a distortion. Let's put that after the chorus so it's between the chorus and the compressor. Like I said, compressor just to keep it a bit tame. Mix is already 100%. Let's turn the drive also up to 100%. And by now you should be able to get that haunted kind of vibe from it. Let's go to envelope 1 and we'll turn the release up quite a bit so it basically just hangs after the tail. Let's play this back and we'll go through the distortion settings and we'll find one that we like. I think that one is working a treat. Let's go to our filter. So we're only going to affect the low frequencies. Put a filter on. And then maybe a bit of attack as well, because it's a bit too abrupt. Let's play back 2 bars now. Let's add a bit of modulation to the pitch just on oscillator B. We'll turn this to, let's go free running, sample and hold. We'll turn the smooth up, and then we'll change this to, we want it quite slow, 1 bar. Let's go down to our EQ. Let's turn that on now just to cut out the very low frequencies. So around 400. Kind of sounds like an angry elephant. We can add some delay. We'll put that just before the reverb. Let's go 1/4 link, put that on dotted, feedback up. Now let's have a listen to that in the context of the track. Let's put it here, I think. And then we're going to mute this one. I have no idea how this is going to sound. Well, I'll just play just this bit back first so I can get the levels right. What we can also do is add additional notes. So let's go 3 up. Or even 1 works really well for a kind of dissonant kind of sound. And we'll play back this entire section now. So it's almost there. I think we can add another filter. And if we go and we'll choose a format filter. Now the effect of this should be twofold. It should thin it out a bit and also give it more of a vocally like timbre. So you can hear suddenly it's become a lot more haunted. We'll attach LFO1 to here. Play this back again. Once again, let's play this back in entirety. There we go. I think that's working. Or what we could even do, just to make it a bit more coherent, let's send this to the main reverb. We'll take off this reverb, or bypass it I should say. So there we go, either option works I think. So essentially if you want it more vocally, leave the format filter on, or we can turn down the mix perhaps to make it more Waterharpy like I was going for initially. Because it has that random LFO on it, basically just render out a few versions of it and then cherry pick the best one that you like. So that last one I prefer is a bit more brighter. So there you go, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.